Philip, it's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
All right, Philip, I just wanted to get to know you. I see you shaking and moving in our group. I just wanted to pull you out of the group and ask you some questions. So tell me about the group that you've got going on in Richmond.
The Meetup Group, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we have a little small little knit of little sub two people, gators as well, and then we have a couple of people that are basically the public facing people that are interested in looking to get into real estate. We have also some realtors, so it's an eclectic group of individuals that share different variety and experience. But we're slowly growing that meetup group, and hopefully we are looking to do deals with each other. Right now, I'm talking to one of the realtors that are in there, and they're sharing their pain points in regards to like not having the education in regards to doing real estate investing, where they're learning basic realtor stuff, buying and selling, but they're not really
Hmm.
retaining any wealth. And so, you know, we're looking to educate the public with different creative finance strategies, different investment vehicles, fixing and flipping, note investing, wholesaling, short-term rentals, midterm rentals. And so we have a pretty good group in regards to the level of investors that we have. We have Tanisha Spencer now. We have Gene Davis. Asif is the like main like kind of glue that connects everybody and keeps me on track in regards to setting up these meetups. So really great diverse group of individuals that are in there, just small, looking to grow.
And where do you guys normally meet at?
So we meet up at our or my brokerage that I'm a part of, that I hang my license at. So I want to just kind of annotate that I'm an investor first, realtor second, but I don't really do the realtor side of things. But we use that space.
And so how would somebody find that?
So there's a couple
So
of ways that you guys can get updated on, where the meetups are going to be at. You can follow me on my Instagram, Philip, or so at Philip, Philliph, my middle initial, and my last name, Thai. Or you can go and join the.
Philip, how did you get into real estate? How long have you been in the game investing?
Yeah, so I've been in real estate since 2017, and I think like a lot of most Americans and people in their life, I started at the W-2 job as a software engineer. And one day I walked into work and I came to the realization that I had to come into that door like the next 20 to 30 years, whether it be that door or a different door down the road. And it didn't sit right. And so like a software engineer does, I just started Googling. I researched like three main categories that were basically the needs of a human being. And food is definitely one of them. And I was not a good cook at the time. And next was clothing. And I'm not a fashion designer. And then the last one was shelter. So that basically was real estate. And my parents and my family had a little bit of experience in real estate. And so I feel like that was the best way to go because I would have the most support from my family because of
Mhm.
that. Just picked real estate and one thing led to another. I went to one seminar, Fortune Builders, and I ended up paying $35,000 for that particular course. Just made an investment in myself. And I will say that it was a scary investment. I don't take the
Yeah.
$35,000 lightly. I just financed that through a down payment and credit cards every single month. So not only was I working my W-2 job to make sure I pay the bills for that education, but I was also learning, studying, going to meetups and taking advice from the mentorship that was in that group. And, like some people hit it great when they're first touching real estate. They might get a deal within the first week or first month. It took me a whole year to get my first deal. So
Wow. What kind of deal was that?
I end up one of another Fortune Builder student had a deal that he didn't want to take on because he had other deals that he was currently doing, and so I ended up taking that on. And it was a fire damaged property. Everything had to be down to the studs, and it was built in 1900. So there was a lot of things that I learned in that property, and anything that could go wrong went wrong in this property. The floor joists were in the studs or in the ground. I had to dig out a crawl space, not personally, but my contractors did.
Mhm.
And once that happened, the city drove by and they had to basically give me a stop work order until I poured an additional concrete foundation, like footers around the house to support the weight, which was kind of crazy to me. I'm like, all right, fine. We installed wire, but that got stolen a couple of weeks afterwards. But there's a lot of things that I learned, and I got out of that particular property and I broke even.
Oh,
Luckily,
well, at least you broke even.
a lot of
You,
lessons, but
yeah,
the reason
exactly.
why I broke even was because the market saved me. It saved me because the market was appreciating. And after that deal, I got a deal after deal because I was just going to meetups and wanting to get more and more. And so the second year I did five fix and flips. Most of them were full guts. And after the fifth one, I kind of took a little break because I was kind of burnt out.
So would you say that after your first deal, your confidence exploded? And is that what caused it to go from one deal to five deals? It's
You
usually
know,
what I hear. Like it took you a year to do your first deal, but then you said after that first deal, even though it was a disaster, You turned around and did 5 more. Why was that?
When I'm put in these situations where I'm staking a lot of capital in my own education, I'm betting on myself, right? The reason why I did that was I had a lofty goal, right? I had a 9-year goal that I planned out when I was 26. So I'm about 33 right now. I'm going to hit that goal, in a year and a half from now. I would say it was a learning experience. And when you look back on your learning experience, how do you make it better and more efficient? And so when I got these other deals, my goal drove me to get those deals because you learn a skill and you do it once. It's not really mastery. It's not really proficient. And so when you do more of these deals, you can then potentially scale it to a level where you can make an autopilot and have a money machine. At that time, I wasn't thinking that way, but I wanted to get out of my W-2 job is why I took those deals. And
did you feel like you owed yourself $35,000 and
of course,
you're like, I've got to make this back?
I had, $35,000 worth of debt I had to pay off. So that's what my job was.
All right. So when I see you on Facebook, it seems like you've got a set routine. Even to set this up, you were like, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. So you seem like, what's your day like? I mean, I see every day you've got those, this is my day today, bing, 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 bing. It's got all this stuff on there. How did you set that up and what's your days like?
Yeah, so my routine is, it can be obviously different from day to day, but my morning routine is relatively stable and consistent. And it consists of when I wake up, I do a morning meditation routine between 10 to 15 minutes. I sit and I clear my thoughts and I only want to think about creations, where I want to create, where I want to be. Sometimes it's a mantra, sometimes, it's just silence and just trying to feel where I'm at so I can have clarity and clear my slate for the beginning of the day. The next thing I do after that is I read my identity statement or my affirmations. I'm a believer that they have power and they have meaning. And if you don't believe in that, I was one of those people until I met a special mentor of mine that proved me wrong time after time again. And I didn't have a choice but not to believe in it any further. So that's my main core routine is those two things. And then afterwards, I make a list of what I need to do on a day-to-day basis at the end of the day. So at the end of today, I'm going to make a list of what I need to do tomorrow. Even though it's the holiday weekend, there's always something that you can do to improve yourself, to gain more clarity in regards to what you did, reflection of this year and what you can do better next year since it is towards the end of the year. And there's so many things that you can do to improve your life outside of a business. You can, relationships, you can do friendships, you can, write down your future goals, right? And so how I stay organized is I utilize this method called bullet journaling. And it's a very simple thing that you can do. You write down your day-to-day tasks, you write down your future tasks. So if today is December up to January, you can write out things that you need to do in your future log. So when you get to January, you can just go back to your future log and then write down all the things you need to do for a certain day. But I've been doing this method for the last 3 to 4 years, and I don't feel like I found a better system. I know it's very antiquated, but it's a system that has worked for me. Instead of a calendar per se, a calendar I can ignore. It has less value because I didn't write it out. I just typed it out. And, I carry this notebook everywhere I go, and it has, all the tasks I needed today and basically, a whole bunch of other things that I do on a day-to-day basis. And I like, the reason why I like this method is because I don't like to store those tasks in my head mentally. It takes a lot of energy to hold that in your head while you think of something else. So if you were to just dump all those tasks in a journal, then you have free space to think about your problems, your issues, or your solutions for your business. And furthermore, it also helps me focus on what I need to do for that day. So if I find myself scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, I'm like, shit, I need to look at my notebook, do those things I need to do, whether I like it or not.
So you're referencing that throughout the day, adding to it and tracking back with it throughout the day?
Yeah, constantly.
And you've got that journal with you everywhere you go?
Yep. Sure.
I like that, man. I've got a lot of stuff that I write down, but I'm not really checking with it. And sometimes I've got 3 or 4 different journals. I'm like, darn it, which one of those did I put it in? That kind of thing. But I do like that. It's like the Sherlock Holmes method where he's like, if I fill up this cup right here with oil, and then that's the information I need, the good stuff. But then I start filling it and he'll take the water and pour that in there and it pushes out. It's taking up room with a bunch of useless. It's the same example you just gave there. So that's called bullet journaling, huh?
Yep, bullet journaling.
That's awesome. I like that. I'm probably going to start implementing that. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really does. You can also do your weekly goals in there. You can have sections of your weekly goal. It's very malleable. You can adjust accordingly. So like I've been listening to this book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely, or Choose Your Enemies, I believe, from Patrick Bet-David. And what a great book. Like what a fantastic book to listen towards the end of the year, because I have now clearer instructions on what to do towards the end of the year, right? I'm looking to reflect. I'm looking to cut the fat. I'm looking to make sure that I don't waste any more time, because I set this 9-year goal, this plan of mine since I was 26. And so I want to make sure that I fulfill a promise to myself, because the worst thing you can do potentially is just let yourself down, right? And you let other people down, the people that you depend on, or people depend on you. So yeah, I'm just really fired up for next year.
So, so you've been in real estate for what, about 6 years now, since
Yeah.
2017,
Yes,
going
sir.
on 7.
Going on
Yeah.
7.
So how have you evolved? Because now you're in business, you're in multifamily. So it seems like you're sprouting in different directions.
Yeah. So like year 3 was a year of, it was a year 3 was a great year in regards to growth, not only in asset acquisitions, but also mindset limitation breakthroughs. And what I mean by that is, like, when I joined Sub 2, I was at a point where I was kind of fed up. I was just kind of tired of having my ego control me, like, wanted to show that I'm a good fix and flipper, and I'm all this fake BS stuff that your mind kind of tells you. And so I went to this accountability group one evening, and I just laid it on the line. I became vulnerable. And it's kind of funny how us, men feel like vulnerability is a weakness, but I think it's a
Mhm.
strength. It's a huge strength, because me as a logical person does not want to be vulnerable, because I do not want to show weakness. And so when you show weakness, people can take it in two different ways. They can make fun of you and slander you or whatever, or just kick you down, or they rise to the occasion to help you, bring you back up. And those are your true individual friends. And so when I went to the Zoom accountability, I met my business partner, and we did 0 to 5 million, 1 point or in 1.5 years in asset acquisitions. And then we did over 100 wholesale deals. We've done over about 37 fix and flips or so. And so there's power in vulnerability, even though people may not think so. I think it's true tremendous power.
So how did you become partners? And are you saying that you were vulnerable in the group and he came beside you and was like, "Hey man, I know you might be a little vulnerable here, but I think I can help you," or how did that come about?
Yeah, thank you so much for that adding that clarity. So I came to the group and I explained my situation. Like, I'm a fix and flipper. I've done this and that, but I'm willing to help anybody here in this group that it needs help for comping, that needs documents. Like, I just wanted to be a helpful servant at that time, because I didn't have anything going for me, but I also wanted to explain my background. Like, I'm not in a good spot right now. Like, I'm looking to potentially squat and partner with people that want a GM on their fix and flips. And
Gotcha.
so we ended up squatting up, and one thing led to another. We did, we started acquiring rentals, then we started doing fix and flipping. It's just been a great roller coaster of a journey, because he was at a part where he could generate so many leads so quickly, and I could just kind of get him to the finish line.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like I always say, Napoleon Hill, is it? The mastermind principle, 2 or more people working together towards the same goal. I
Yeah.
mean, it really makes all the difference in the world when you have the right people around you, and at the very least, just one equal partner where you guys are just complementing each other.
Yeah.
And so, would you say that your business kind of exploded after that? It sounds like it did.
Oh, yeah. It exploded quite a bit. Went from, I think I made like over $2 to $3 million that year, just in revenue. It was crazy. Absolutely
Oh,
insane.
that's fantastic. You guys are still partners now, or have you guys added on more people, more teammates? Can you tell
Yeah.
us about your team?
Yeah, so basically, I kind of right now, year 6, we're still partners on our rentals, but he
Mhm.
decided to go to wholesaling. I kind of got burnt out of wholesaling, and I decided to do more gator lending and merger and acquisitions, because I went to one of those seminars and got sold on a dream that I feel like is a better move in a sense of acquisitions wise. But I'm never going to leave real estate, because I love real estate and I love business acquisitions now. So he is in charge of the wholesaling side. He has about 30 plus VAs that run his day-to-day operation. So his team is very, very large. I come in and out sometimes to provide maybe some expertise in like commercial or business acquisitions that they come across a seller looking to sell a business, or just help with, things that are like kind of one-off situations. So
Typically, I would say you kind of moved into more of an investor role, and he's still in the real estate space where you kill what you eat. However, it sounds like he's automated that business. He's got the virtual assistants doing a lot of the heavy lifting, so he doesn't have to. So it sounds like both of you guys kind of have automated your businesses. So, as far as mergers and acquisitions, could you tell us about how you got into that, and how do you choose your businesses? Where did you learn what you learned?
yeah,
Like, how do you know what's a good business to acquire?
right. So how I got into that is I basically joined one of these weekend events called Dealmaker, and it's usually ran by Carl Allen and his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Moore and Abraham Gray. And so I joined his deal making course, I think back in end of July of this year, 2023. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so how I got into it, it was like I knew, in my bones that acquiring a business is a great investment because, well, the cash flows are bigger, and if you buy the right business, of course, and
Mhm.
an existing team is already there. But what really stuck to me is that why would you start a business when you can buy an existing business, right? With all the things
Yeah.
kind of there, right? That was
Mhm.
the appealing part of it, and the other cherry on top was the cash flow that it could present. And and what I'm targeting right now as far as like business leads is I had a hard time understanding my buy box, you can say, because my skill sets are very kind of all over the place. And so I didn't have a good way of kind of narrowing it down except for asking ChatGPT. And what I kind of came up with when I was asking ChatGPT these questions, I kind of figured out like I want to buy a business that is regulated by a law or regulation, meaning if you have a kitchen hood cleaning business, that's a great business to buy because it is regulated by, inspections. Because if a kitchen's dirty, if the hood's dirty itself, it's a fire hazard. So either
So
the
by law, they have to call someone to keep it clean.
yeah, or they clean it themselves, right? And they get inspected by the
Gotcha.
state inspector, right? So that's a business that is potentially a recession-proof business. Another example is the fire suppression systems that need to be inspected. So like your sprinkler systems, right? Someone has to inspect that every quarter to make sure that there's enough pressure, that it's good to go, and that costs money. And you have potentially thousands and thousands of commercial buildings in a large city that needs to be inspected. So
Unbelievable.
yeah,
Wow.
so now you can see
Yeah.
that they're lucrative, right?
Yeah.
And if you can combine the two together, as far as a kitchen hood cleaning business and a fire suppression system, then you can cross sell and create more cash flows, revenue of the business. And
Absolutely. And you're giving more people a reason to call you. And then once they've called you, because you provide both services and like you said, cross sell them. So yeah, that's really powerful.
yeah. And, with the restaurants, right? Whatever, it could be restaurants, it could be hospitals, like military bases, it could be, jails. They all use industrial kitchens. And so people, when they do their cooking, they're not going to want to clean, they're going to clean, the basic, their stations, but they don't want to clean the damn hood. And that's going to be a lot of like work. And so, and if you look this up on YouTube, it is a low labor kind of job. All they do is just spray some soap in there, like degreaser. They scrub it, they rinse it off, and then boom, you're done. And then you clean the HVAC that goes up to the roof. I mean, it's a very low skill kind of job.
And does the cleaner also inspect it or the inspectors from the city? Or do they, I mean, are
Yeah,
they the ones that check the box that say it's clean? I just did it myself.
yeah. So there's different types of ways that you can go about it. But from what I saw is that you can just put like a label right on the kitchen hood and say clean whatever date, and then obviously the food health inspector will come in and obviously do their inspection
Gotcha.
of the hood system. So I narrowed it down to that buy box, right? Now understand that
Mhm.
this is a very niche buy box, and not a lot of businesses go up for sale within this category. So I was trying to stay local because that's kind of how I was taught, right? So obviously I didn't want to waste a lot of time and energy trying to find this in my location because it's going to be very hard. So what I ended up doing is I'm going to leverage my own wholesaling skills and acquisition skills of real estate and transfer it over to the M&A space. And what I did was I learned how to run Facebook ads, and I ran it nationwide. So I spread my search nationwide, but not for kitchen hood cleaning businesses, but for everything that came across my way, because I wanted to build in the reps and talking to business sellers, understanding different business models, because you never know what could be a good fit for you. And you may not even you may not even know that's a good fit for you until you actually talk to the sellers.
Mhm.
So I only spend $10 a day in my marketing budget, and I get easily a lead a day, a motivated lead a day. When I talk about motivated lead, the seller is ready to sell. They're willing to tell
Oh,
you
wow.
everything that they could possibly want to tell you about the business. They're willing to give you financials of the business within the last 3 years, tell you the operations, how many employees, what's the revenue, what's the EBITDA. EBITDA is your net profits, what he
Mhm.
does in the company, basically everything you could possibly want to know about the business. He or she will tell you straight up. The one business category that I do not want to buy, and a lot of people, investors don't want to buy, is the restaurant business, because it is
Yeah.
a job. You're buying a job. And so that's one
Mhm.
thing that I don't want to target. So right now, and we have a couple of ones that we're looking to acquire. We're closing on one the first week of January, January 2nd in Atlanta. It's a landscaping company. So we were super excited for that to close. That'll be my first acquisitions. And I will speak to the model that I'm doing right now. And the model is I'm leveraging my background as a wholesaler to find and vet the deals and qualify the deals. Then what I'm going to do is trying to find an operator within my network to operate the business. I'm going to get a upfront finder's fee, which is a wholesale fee, if you want to call it that way. And then I'm going to wedge a small piece of equity into the deal in perpetuity until the operator wants to sell it or do whatever with the business.
Okay. All right. That's powerful what you just said there. So run that back. I want to write this down and I think people need to hear it again. So the business model is you're finding a deal, finding an operator, you're getting an assignment fee and equity, or either or, both. Okay. So how do you, all right. So let me see here. So find deal. So you're finding a deal, then you find an operator.
Yep.
Okay. How do you insert yourself in that deal? And then I told you there's something I want you to check out before we get off here.
Yeah.
With that business model, I think you're going to be very happy about what I'm about to show you. It's a site that some investors in my network are putting together. And this video that we're doing here is actually going to be a part of that as part, lead gen. So we can get to that. So how do you find an operator? Just people in the network in some of our communities and some other communities that you have?
Yeah, exactly. Just and the power of networking is there is no amount of words to describe the power of networking because you have no idea until you have an idea, right? When you need help, just go to the community or network. Someone's going to have experience or know somebody else that can help you. It's
6 degrees of separation, isn't it?
exactly.
Everyone knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yep.
And that network's really powerful. So once you find your operator who's been referred to you or someone highly recommends them, you found an operator that is familiar with that space and meets your, passes your sniff test or meets your criteria. And you're like, you know what, we can do business. What do you do then?
Yeah, you set up a new LLC, you have an operating agreement, and basically understand that, who's doing what within the business, right?
Yeah.
You got to have an operating agreement when you're doing business with people that you don't have a whole lot of history with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if you do, man, I'll tell you, I've had some bad experiences with friends and family before, but yeah, those operating agreements are powerful. So now let me ask you, so once you've got the LLC, you've got the operating agreement, but how did you make sure that you got the assignment fee for bringing people into the business?
Yeah.
How did you insert yourself into that?
You got to make sure that you understand your worth in the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is like, I found the deal. I spent money on finding the deal. I spent time and energy analyzing the financials, negotiating the deal itself, building rapport with the seller, doing due diligence on it. Spent a lot of time doing that. Without all this, you will not have this deal. Basically, that's kind of right. And so you got to understand your worth and what you are bringing to the table. So if I can find this deal, I can find other deals that could be a asset to the business that can generate even more revenue for the business. So what it is that you're bringing to the table, and then you can come from a space of like, hey, this is what I want. There's many operators like that you these gotta understand, like come to terms of like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand, because if you find a good operator, they can take the existing mom and pop shop and bring it to $1 million, $2 million, whatever amount of revenue, and my percentage of fee is going to be small for the opportunity, right?
What's that look like? 10,000, 20,000? What does it look like?
Yeah, it really depends on the deal itself. So I can give you an example. So this particular small mom and pop landscaping company is only generating about $500,000 in revenue and takes on about $150,000 a year. So my partner and we just basically have like a $15,000 wholesale fee. However, since the operations are so small, we elected to take our finder's fee on the first quarter of distributions. So I won't get the wholesale fee now, but I don't have to come out of my own pocket for the deal. So I'm just delaying gratification.
Basically, they're paying you out of the profits they've already made.
Out of the business, yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're deferring your assignment fee or your wholesale fee till after they've had what, a quarter, you said? A quarter. Gotcha. Yeah. And so what would that look like on a business that just takes home about 150,000? Like
15,000, 15 to 20,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not that much, right? Depending on who you are, it could be a lot and you could own a business, but it could be a lot for some. It all depends on how you structure, but the biggest takeaway is the part of wedging your equity into the deal.
Yes.
You'll have another source of income that you don't have to work for anymore.
And so the equity part, are they sending you a check, or is it just ownership as if they were to sell, then you would get a piece, or do they actually send you a check?
So that's a good question. We haven't decided on how that's going to be structured. The operating agreement will tell you how things are structured. So I just got the operating agreement today before jumping on this call. So I'm very excited, like look through this legal document and just kind of highlight the things that we would like to fix and change. But ultimately what I would like to happen is any distributions, basically every quarter, to just kind of come to us. And we wedged a 20% between my partner and I equity in the deal. And the operator's gonna get 80% because obviously he is going to be the day-to-day operator doing all of the work. So it would not be fair if also he's coming with all the money as a down payment to the seller and doing all these things. So I understand that he needs cash in the business in order for it to operate. And I understand that. So you have to be sensible when you do business. It's all
For
about the
sure.
relationships and not for the money grab.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can argue about 5% and because you wanted 25%, but if the deal doesn't go through, you could have had 20%, but now you have nothing. So what do you bring to the table? He's bringing the money. I know you brought the deal and that explains the $15,000 to $20,000 assignment fee. What do you, and I'm not trying to minimize anything, but what can he expect from you in the future? Like what are your expectations in the roles?
So in the future, we're still marketing. We're still talking to many people within that area. So if we find a deal that we see that it could be an additional stream of revenue for that business, we're going to be like, hey, partner, we found this great, let's just say landscaping, not hardscaping company that would be perfect, a bolt-on strategy for the business to generate you more revenue. I'm going to give you first dibs. I think we should make this work. Right. I'm going to start adding more revenue streams to the business because I'm also incentivized, right? As the revenue grows, my equities may or may not grow, but my return on investment will grow.
The percentage won't change, but 20% of 100,000 as opposed to 20% of $1 million. If you keep bolting on businesses horizontally, snow plowing.
Yep.
Because landscape, starts dying down a little in the winter. You can do the snow plowing depending on the area. Yeah. So just adding on more value. I love that. And you already established this with the operator ahead of time. Like, here's my plan. You're going to run this, get acclimated to it, and then we're going to bolt on businesses and keep making it bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. That's already established.
It becomes easier when you have more businesses because financing is even easier to get.
Right. And more money means you can hire more and better people, do more marketing. So do you handle the marketing for that landscaping company?
I don't. We partner with the person that does marketing too as well. So he's a ninja at marketing in specific categories, right? And so he knows what to do because he's already done it before. And so he's already marketed to another business landscaping company, was able to generate, additional $100,000 or sorry, $10,000 in revenue within 1 month. So if he can repeat that over and over again and add more marketing dollars to it, the sky's the limit, in my opinion.
So you go to the same marketing guy for a lot of your businesses? You send him the business?
No, this is the operator for the landscaping company.
Oh, I'm sorry. So that operator, he's a marketer.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you mentioned on your marketing and outreach, what kind of marketing and outreach do you use for real estate?
I don't really do too much marketing and outreach anymore for real estate, honestly speaking, because I'm really focused on the M&A space. What I used to do with my partner, we used to just basically do all the forms of marketing: postcards, cold calling, PPC, ringless voice messages, SMS, you name it, basically everything.
What kind of software were you using for that?
So we went through an array of different softwares. We used Launch Control for the longest time for SMS. We used different CRM systems. We can go high level now. PropStream for your list pulling, and take data for your skip tracing. I don't recommend using that when you're just starting off because that thing is really expensive. I would just continue using skip tracing through, PropStream or whatever. And then Investor Lift for dispoing your deals, relatively simple. And then you use Facebook too to dispo your deals.
Gotcha. Okay. So how did you find the multifamily that you're working on? I saw that. What is that? 90 something units?
Yeah. 96 units out in West Memphis, Arkansas. It's a value/management play here. So I got in this deal by leveraging my network yet again, and a couple of sub-tube members that I'm really close with came across this deal and wanted help in regards to raising capital and funds. And so for over a year, and I've been doing 30 plus deals in the Gator community. And so I thought it was relatively going to be a straight, not too hard of a barrier to just kind of bridge the gap between what I'm doing now and what I'm looking to raise money for. So And so, we're actively raising money for that. And then we have also multiple deals within Memphis, Tennessee to add on to the portfolio. A lot of synergies that I can kind of add to my skill set now that I'm a little more seasoned. I understand the process, you can say, right? And based on experience, I kind of know what I would want as an investor to be lending on. And so I want to make sure that I make it as sweet as possible for an investor to feel dumb if they say no to, right? And that's like the key to selling anything, right? You got to make sure that, they feel dumb. They say no to this sweet deal. So
what's that? Alex Ramosi?
Yeah, exactly.
An offer so good, they feel dumb saying no. Absolutely. Yeah. So these people from the group, your Facebook group, they found the deal and you saw it and you were like, yeah, this is a good deal. I want in on it.
Well, it's
And
like we're good friends and they live relatively close. I know them personally.
they live close to you
Uh,
now or close to the deal?
one does, but they're kind of spread across the United States.
Do any of them live close to the deal?
Yep, yep. 5 minutes away.
Gotcha. And so you have other properties in Memphis, Tennessee, you said?
I don't have any properties in Memphis, Tennessee, but the investor in Florida does, and so he knows the area very well. So
Gotcha.
that's where he markets to. So you know, bring the deal.
And are you still raising money for that?
Yeah, we're raising money for that still. Yep.
Okay, so it's 96 units. What are they asking?
They're asking 6.5 million, and how we structured the deal is more important
Uh-huh.
than the price itself. And so the
Right.
structure, what really matters, we end up taking over their existing mortgage, sub to their existing mortgage of
Sweet.
4.5 million, or so $5 million, excuse me, and then we're seller financing their equity. So,
Okay.
and the reason why they're selling, if anybody wants to know, is that they don't see eye to eye anymore as partners. There's more than one seller, more than one members in the LLC. They're not seeing eye to eye anymore. So they've only had the property for a year. They just want to sell it, get rid of it. And the seller finance portion of it is at $500,000 as down payment, $100,000 as broker fee, and then the rest as holding cost and management fees plus a little bit of repairs.
Yeah.
So a total raise of like 750, let's just call it.
750,000 to come to the table?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think, man, I'm interested in that deal. I can come through with a little bit on that myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we can talk about that one off of camera. So here's a platform that some investors in my network are putting together.
Sure.
And I think, you know, just from everything that we've talked about, they're in beta right now, but there are some deals on the platform, and there's plenty of investors waiting for the development to finish out. Go to this site right here, Philip. I'd love to get your impression and input on it. FundaDeal.com. FUND, deal.com.
Let me see this. Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so you see it there?
Yep.
Connecting good deals with active investors. That's
Yep.
real estate. If you click on that search bar, click on categories there, all types of real estate deals, business deals, and other kind of deals, from, you know, startups to charities, ministries. Yeah, so that's the platform that I'm lucky to be a part of. But my role is, everyone else is like invisible. They don't want to handle anything, and they don't want to be recognized anywhere. So this is where I kind of fit in, and that's what this video is for, Philip. So
Okay.
you're the first interview that I'm doing, because I just saw you shaking and moving into groups, and I just knew you could provide a lot of value. And I'll be honest, I'm blown away, Philip. I mean, God, you have had quite a journey and provided so much value. I'm going to be watching this video at least one or two more times, man.
Awesome,
A
man.
lot of good information. So regarding that website there, yeah, people will post deals on there.
Sweet.
And our investors, and it's open to any investors, can come in and just kind of cherry pick the deals. You can set your criteria up at the top. So for example, funds needed. If I've only got $1 million, I don't need to look at a $5 million deal. Or if I've only got 100,000, I don't need to look at a $250,000 deal. So I set my criteria up there at the top. What kind of deal, the category, how much money do they need? And maybe I'm just looking for JV 50-50 deals. I just put that in there and hit the search bar, and it'll filter out based off of that criteria.
That's awesome, dude. This is a great website, man. This is a great name too as well. It's perfect.
Oh, cool. I will let everybody know. I mean, that's what I was looking for, is, you know, just kind of some feedback. It's kind of slowly evolved, and I think everyone wants it to launch, you know, yesterday. So, yeah, we're almost there. So it'll be launching hopefully early January.
Okay, awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. I love it.
Little by little, people are posting deals here and there. I don't know how that golf dome got put in there. Somebody put a golf dome.
Yeah, I saw that.
Reading that. Yeah. They want an indoor golf facility in Chicago. So there's been no marketing, no nothing. This is all just, I guess, people in the group talking, and that's what's already made it on there.
That's sweet.
But, yeah, man. So you are welcome to post your deals on there. Like I said, it won't, you know, pre-launch until January, and that's when we'll start ramping up some marketing and letting the cat out the bag and letting people know that the site exists so they can start doing deals together.
I love it. I love this, man. This is great.
Yeah, take a look at the video at the top when you get the chance.
Of course, man. Of course.
And what is your buy box, Philip? Just in case, before we wrap up, what's your buy box? What are you looking for right now? If somebody contacts you on Facebook, you don't want them to send you stuff you're not looking for. So what are you looking for?
Oh man, I'm looking through a lot of things right now. So I'm more focused on commercial now these days, but I will buy single family homes within my area. So if you have a single family home within the Richmond or greater market, I also buy in the Tidewater region. So like 757, Hampton Roads, two or more bedrooms, 1.5 more bath. I will settle for one if it's in a good price point. It's nothing luxury. I'm looking to buy medium house prices or below.
Makes sense.
Creative financing subject to, but I will buy cash deals if it's a good deal.
All right. That's single family though. What about commercial? What about multifamily?
Yeah, yeah. Multifamily, I'm very open, wide open. Two or more units, same areas, right? No war zones, no full gut jobs in both of them.
Mhm.
And as far as commercial real estate is concerned, I like to buy multi units, basically like two or more like commercial units, small strip malls, under 10 units, self storage, and in the greater Richmond area. I mean, I'm kind of open to all states right now. No war
For
zones.
multifamily.
Yeah, well, just
Yeah,
commercial.
commercial.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 9 cap or above, nine cap plus, and I'm willing to go up to $2.5 million or below. Yeah.
Okay, and that is multifamily or commercial, the 2.5.
Yeah, I love commercial. I love like actual commercial with businesses in them more than I do multifamily, honestly speaking.
Really? Why is that? I was just talking to someone about a commercial deal, and I was like, sometimes these commercial deals scare me. They say that 90 something percent of all shopping will be done online in the next 10 years. And
Mhm.
so I'm thinking, is that gonna, if I have a commercial deal, are my people going to be exiting? I know a chiropractor, a dentist, a gym, you can't do that online really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
why do you
can't.
like commercial over multifamily?
Okay, so like the basic premise here is when you're dealing with residential, you're dealing with emotions and attachments.
Mhm.
With commercials B2B, you're just dealing with business. Business to business. It's black and white. It's clear as day. It's an agreement,
Uh-huh.
the handshake. There is no like, hey, my toilet is flooding. That's your problem, not mine.
Mhm.
Like they don't call you for
Mhm.
pest control. They don't call you for anything. The only time they'll call you is if the roof is falling down. Then
Yeah.
you have an issue. Like, okay, cool. I'll come and fix that. No problem. That's my responsibility as a landlord.
Right. Mhm.
It's very black and white. There's no emotions. It's just straight business.
Do you have set in there that the leases will go up by 2 or 3% every year? How would you structure that as far
Yeah,
as
I
the
mean,
increase?
it depends on the business and it depends on where things are at and it depends on who you're dealing with. You could deal with a corporate tenant that has their way of structuring the deal, and then obviously they're going to want to get the best that they can. You, on the other hand, if you're dealing with a mom and pop, then you can have those yearly hikes. But it really depends on the business itself and how long they'll stay. So everything's negotiable in real estate. So yeah,
Mhm.
I just like commercial because even though shopping's going to go away online, that's cool and all. Not restaurants. There's people love to go out to eat. There's insurance, right? Agencies that will have a place to kind of
Medical offices.
medical office, exactly. There's so many other asset class and businesses that are going to stick around for brick and mortar, right? And so, I mean, honestly speaking, I mean, yeah,
Which ones do you like? Which one, if I bring you, like I've got some guys that bird dog like crazy, they find amazing deals.
yeah,
And so in my network, like I said, it's the investors and then there's the guys that are finding deals, and that's kind of how FundaDeal came about. And
yeah,
so what are you looking for? If I bring you this kind of deal, what's the one that makes you smile the most?
yeah. If you bring me a deal at like at least a 9 cap with like four to six like multi business units, and it's like under $1 million, I'll probably buy that all day. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Any particular kind of business that you really like?
I just got to see the lease. If they're all doing well, there's one deal that I wanted to buy was on Crexy, and it was for $800,000 in Newport News. It had 5 or 6 units apartment building. I was like, this is a great deal. Yeah,
Yeah, take it down.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's a deal that I would buy and buy that all day.
Okay. So 4 to 6 units minimum, kind of under 2.5. And that's kind of what you like there.
Yeah, yep,
Sweet. I'll keep that in mind. Well, thank you, Philip. I will definitely be in touch with you. Again, I really appreciate it. And I'm blown away. What a journey you've had and what a great person to know.
yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Let's network.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
network together.
Of course.
Thanks, Philip.
All right. Talk to you later.